Welcome to yoga this morning. And as ever, pay attention to how you feel as we move today. You do yoga at your own risk, so see how you feel as you move into every posture. Don't hold anything any longer than you feel is right for you. Rest if you need to. And we're going to start lying down on the floor in any comfy position that you care to find. And allow yourself just to let go. Know that nothing else matters for the next hour. It's just about you moving your body. So feel your body lying on the floor. See how relaxed your legs can rest and how relaxed and heavy your arms can be. Complete awareness that the floor is supporting you. You're making no effort at all. And you're letting your body be moved by your breath. You're not moving your body, your breath is moving your body. Where is your breath moving your body? Where is your breath making your body move? And bring your arms closer into the sides of your body so that we can move them in time with the breath. So next time you take a breath in, reach your arms up towards the ceiling and then over beyond your head. And as you breathe out, your arms come back down by your sides. And next time they land on the floor, let your arms stay there. Feel your body rest again and your breath move in your body as it needs to, but with no effort from the body itself. And take your arms wider out to the side, palm face up. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. Feet wide apart, a little bit wider than your hips. So remember to keep your feet that wide. We're just going to drop the knees from side to side gently. So take a breath in here. And then as you exhale, let both knees move towards the right, down towards the floor. So remember you're keeping your feet wide. They pivot onto their edges. As you breathe in, you bring your knees back to the center. And as you breathe out, you take your knees over to the other side. So carry on in whatever pace of breathing suits you. The first one was to the right, so make the final one to the left. Take your time. When you come up from the left, then just rest there. And reach your arms up to the ceiling. Interlock your hands and turn your palms up to the ceiling, stretching your elbows as straight as they're comfortable to go, relaxing your shoulders. Then take that beyond your head, just as far as it wants to go, without taking your shoulders out of place. Stretch your legs out along the mat, bring them together, push your heels away, pull your toes up towards you, and then spread your toes as wide as they'll go. Bit of daylight between every pair of toes. And relax your feet, relax your arms, bring your arms back down. And bend your knees, feet onto the mat. Knees onto your chest, hands around your knees, have a rock side to side. And then feet gently back down on the floor. A roll to one side to slowly make your way up to standing for our salute to the sun. So you want to stand at the front end of your mat, looking out over the short edge. I'm going to turn this way just for a moment. Take a moment to stand tall. So feet grounded on the floor, an upright posture and relaxed arms. And in your mind's eye, in your imagination, maybe with your eyes closed, if you're okay to balance like that, see a little plasticine figure standing the same way that you're standing. And you're going to adjust your little plasticine figure to grow taller, because he's plasticine, so you can mould him how you like. Stretch him taller, and as he stretches taller, see if you can reflect that same action in your own body. So there's no tension in the shoulders or the arms. Open your eyes if they're closed. Keep that new height. And then lift your arms up to the ceiling. And look up between your hands. Reach your arms back and wide. Lift the centre of your chest up towards the ceiling. It's like you're lengthening the whole of the front of your body, and your little fingers are reaching the furthest. Then look forwards, reach up to the ceiling. And take a forward fold. Bit of bend in your knees. Let your upper body hang. Now there's stretch and length in the back of your body. Right leg steps back to a lunge. Lift your chest, look forwards. Left foot back to down face dog. Tummy button to spine. Feel the V shape, upside down V shape of your body. Slide forwards to plank. And then hold it steady. Breathe when you're there. Knees to the floor. And then a smooth lower down of your front body. Elbows close in by your sides as you roll down. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. Look back down at the floor. Push up to hands and knees, tuck your toes under. And then lift your hips. You're coming into down face dog. You can make any little adjustments with your hands and feet. And then tummy button to spine. Keep your hips high as you walk through your legs. So it's a stretch of the legs, but you're not compromising the height of your hips. You're not coming forwards to make it a bit easier. Keep it held back. Hips as close to the wall behind as they can. And then a stretch of both legs. Weight on your left foot, look between your hands. You're going to step your right foot through to a lunge. And then step the left foot forwards, forward fold. As much knee bend as you want. A good deep bend of your knees so your hips drop down towards the floor. Hold them there. Lift your shoulders away from the floor so you've got a bit of an arched back. Straighten your legs. Palms together. And then slide your palms down. Elongate, tall again. And then lift your arms. Look up, reach back and wide. Feel the whole length from the fronts of your ankles to the tips of your little fingers. That's the distance that you're trying to lengthen. Look forwards, reach up. Forward fold. Left leg back to a lunge. Right foot back to down face dog. Find the V shape, upside down V shape. Tummy button to spine, slide forwards. And if you're feeling strong, leave your knees lifted. Otherwise, knees to the floor first, and then lower, upper body floats down to the ground. Roll your shoulders back, lift your chest. And then look back down, push up to hands and knees. Tuck your toes under, lift into your down face dog. Set your position. Tummy button to spine. You've got an upside down V shape. Your hands are square on the floor. Every part of the underside of your hand on the floor. See how that feels. Slow, steady breath. Weight on the right foot. Look between your hands. Step the left foot through to a lunge. Step forwards with the right foot, forward fold. And then hips down, shoulders lift. Bring yourself up to standing. Stand as tall as you can. And then keep the height as your palms slide down. Shoulders relaxed. Ready to go with the breath. Breath in to lift up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. Keep that slow pace of breath. Find the inverted V shape again, tummy button to spine, and then, like you did in mountain pose into Tadasana, see a little plasticine figure in a down face dog. So the distance between his hands and his hips, stretch it a little bit longer. Stretch your little plasticine man longer and reflect that in your body. See if you can make the same action in your own body. And then weight on your left foot, look between your hands. Breath in to step the right foot through. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. Exhale, palms down. Breath in. And a breath out. Inhale to lift up. Exhale, back bend. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, left leg back to a lunge. Exhale, down face dog. Inhale, plank. Option to drop your knees. Exhale all the way down. Inhale to lift your chest. Exhale, down face dog. So if you can keep the same pace of breath, because it does help to calm you down and make it feel a little bit easier to hold the position. So tummy up into spine, hands nice and firm. You're going to stretch again your little plasticine figure and yourself at the same time, from hands to hips. Like your hips will come a little bit closer to the wall behind. And then weight on your right foot. Look between your hands. Breath in, left foot forwards. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, stand up. And exhale, palms down. Breath in. And a breath out. And then feet just a little bit apart. Arms rest by your sides. Stand and let it settle. We're going to balance in on our tiptoes today, so you may want to be off your mat if it's a little firmer underfoot without it. You can have something near you to hold on to if you need a bit of help to balance. It's a bit easier with feet hip distance apart because you've got a wider base. It's a little harder with your feet together, so you choose how you want to do it. I'm going to stand tall like your elongated plasticine figure, standing tall, and then lift your arms up to the ceiling. And if from here you imagine that you're about to lift up onto tiptoes, there's a bit of a lift that comes in your tummy. Hold that and keep that feeling as you lift. Find a place where you're going to hold your gaze. Take a breath in here. And as you exhale, stay lifted on your toes, take your arms wide out to the side. As you breathe in, lift your arms back up, still on tiptoes. As you exhale, your arms stay up, your heels lower back down, so you have a moment of touch down. And we repeat that. So a breath in to lift up your heels, high as they'll go. Exhale, arms wide. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, lower your heels, arms stay lifted. Breath in to lift your heels. Exhale, arms wide. Keep the heels high as they can go. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower your heels. Once more through that little sequence. So breath in to lift your heels. Exhale, arms wide. Inhale, lift your arms. Exhale, lower your heels and lower your arms as well. Then take a lie down on your back. Bring your belt close to you. We're going to use the belt. Have a moment first just to lie down. As you lie down, just notice if there's any residual sensations in your body from salute to the sun and the balance. And just letting those sensations be. Body's just sorting through it, and the body's very good at sorting through it. So just let it happen. And take a stretch of the legs with the belt. You can bend both knees, feet onto the mat. You stretch the legs one at a time. So right leg first. Bring your knee onto your chest so that you can loop your belt around your foot and then extend the leg outwards, upwards, wherever you can get it straight. So if that's right out here, that's fine because the belt is there so that your arms can, your arms and your belt can support your leg. You're not having to to hold on with your back or your core. However, if you can lift your leg straighter, lift your leg higher, keeping it straight, then do, because you want to find as much stretch on the back of your leg as you can. Climb your hands up the belt so they're as high as they can be without your shoulders pulling away from the floor. So just relax your shoulders back down. Your arms are just hanging off the belt. So re-straighten the leg. Make sure it's straight. You're going to extend the left leg out along the mat. So when you extend the left leg out along the mat, you straighten the left leg, you pull the toes up towards you, and also you try to make the gap between the back of your thigh and the mat as small as you can. You're pushing the back of the left thigh down. If that means you have to take your right leg further away, that's absolutely fine. Taking your left leg out encourages your hips to be in a more neutral position when you've got both knees, when you've got your left leg bent. It's quite tempting to roll your hips back to tuck them under. Less easy to do so here. So we also try and accommodate a bit more lift by letting the right hip slide outwards. Can you slide your right hip inwards as if you're narrowing your hips? Squeeze your hips as if you could narrow them. And again, it might make it harder, but that's okay. Take your leg further away if it does. As you breathe in, how could you lengthen the back of your right leg? Could you angle the straight leg closer to you? Could you push the heel up towards the ceiling more? Could you tuck in the right hip some more? Every breath in is when you do a bit of stretching, and every breath out is when you relax your shoulders and find a bit of softness in your body. So use every breath in. Keep the left leg working as well. And if you don't re-stretch on every breath in, you'll find that your leg just naturally softens. It seems to be impossible to keep your leg stretched. That's why it's better just to stretch on a breath in and relax on a breath out. If you just try to hold it straight, it will soften. Then take both ends of the belt in your right hand and your left arm out to the side, palm face up. So feel that L shape that you've made on the floor with your left arm and your left leg. That's your framework. You're going to try and hold that steadily down on the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, slowly take the right leg out to the right. Feel how the left hip wants to lift up, but you're going to hold it down. Slide a bit more length in your belt so you can get your right elbow on the floor. And then you can support your right leg with your belt. It doesn't have to go low to the floor. You want to try and keep it from moving down towards the other foot. So you want to keep your right foot as if your toes are magnetized to the wall beyond your head. And then really work the left side down as well. Stretch the right leg. Now's the time to find a bit more length in the back of the leg, in the calf, in the thigh. Pushing the heel away. Steadily breathing. And then lift your right elbow off the floor so you can guide your leg back with the belt to the centre. Then bend your right knee. Unloop the belt. Extend both legs. Take them a little bit apart. Let them both rest for a moment. Bend your knees again, and this time left knee to your chest, loop the belt around your left foot, and when you're ready, stretch the leg out away from you. Climb your hands up the belt so they're just comfortably as high as they can be. Your elbows are straight, your shoulders relaxed down to the floor. Find the place where you can straighten your leg, just that little bit of where it starts to be slightly tense but not overstretched. And then extend the right leg out. So your right toes pull up towards you and you try to squeeze the back of the right thigh down. Then squeeze the left hip in narrow. As you breathe in, whatever you can do to get a good stretch on the back of your left leg. And every time you breathe out, you relax your shoulders, ease off just a little bit. Make every breath slow. So it's a good couple of seconds to stretch and breathe in, a good couple of seconds to relax. That's at any angle of the leg is good. You're just finding the place where it comes to tension for you. 2 more breaths here. So breath in to lengthen the back of your leg from hip up the back of the leg to the heel, and then exhale to soften. 1 more breath in and 1 more breath out. And then take both ends of the belt in your left hand, right arm out to the side. Now you feel that L shape with your right arm and your right leg, your right hip, back ribs. Take a breath in. As you exhale, take the left leg out to the left. Don't let that L frame move away from the floor. Slide a bit of belt out so your left elbow can land on the floor. Keep the left leg straight. Keep the back of the right thigh pulling to the floor. And that left leg, it's the back of the leg that you're trying to lengthen. You're pushing the heel away. And then lift your elbow off the floor, guide your leg back to the centre. Lovely. Bend your knee, unloop the belt, stretch your legs out, let yourself relax for a moment. So now there should certainly be some sensations in your hips or your legs. Just notice what it feels like. Close your eyes, take your attention to the sensations. Bend your knees again, feet onto the mat, knees onto your chest, a hand on each knee, make a big circle with your knees so your hips get a little bit of movement, and then circle the other way. Place your feet back down on the floor. We're going to make our way up to standing again. And bring your belt with you again, this time. So feet are hip distance apart, and you're going to take your belt fairly wide in your hands. Straighten your elbows and take a moment just to see how it feels standing tall. So you're standing tall as you would in mountain pose, but with your feet a little bit apart. So shoulders relaxed, chin not sticking out. Chin parallel to the floor. You're going to lift your arms straight, take them above your head. So there's a temptation immediately to lift your shoulders up towards your ears. Avoid that temptation. Let your shoulders feel heavy. And then take your arms, keeping them straight, a little bit further back. Now the temptation is to thrust your rib cage forward. So again, hold that steady, feeling like the front ribs are sort of dropping towards the floor rather than pushing forwards. So shoulders relaxed, rib cage relaxed. Can you take your hands a little bit further back? When they won't go any further, slip a little bit more length in your belt. So you get to that place where you can just, without thrusting your ribs forwards, without hoiking your shoulders up, you can just take your belt behind you. Doesn't matter how wide you go. Keep your elbows straight, chest relaxed, shoulders relaxed, and then you get to a point where it's fine. But there is a really difficult point. You want to get your belt to a length where it's just quite difficult, but not impossible, to move up and down through that difficult point, keeping your shoulders relaxed, keeping your arms straight, keeping your ribs relaxed. And then we're just going to move slowly through that place, up and down slowly. So your slowest bit of movement is through the difficult place. And there's lots of things we do. Well, I've talked about lifting shoulders, thrusting rib cage forwards. See if you can relax your jaw as well. So one final up and one final down. And once you come down, then keep a hold of your belt, but relax your arms. Your shoulders might feel they need a bit of a circle. Give them anything that they feel like they need. And then let them settle back in again. Imagine that you can just hold your belt because we're going to come back to the belt. Imagine that your collarbones is a stiff line right across the front. That stiff line isn't going to move and it's not going to swing from side to side. You're going to turn your head to the right. Just to where it comfortably goes, and then back to the centre. And then to the left. No movement in that line. Back to the centre. Over to the left again. And this time just hold it at that comfortable place. See if it would be okay to squeeze a bit further. And only squeeze if you know that feels okay. And release the squeeze. Slowly turn to the centre. And a final turn to the left. Think about your collarbone line as you turn. Come to your maximum. Squeeze if it feels okay. And squeeze if you squeezed, and come back to the centre. So we're going to use the belt again, seeing as we've made the effort to bring one. And we're going to do a bit of a version of, a bit of a variation of triangle pose. So step your feet wide apart. Bring your belt in front somewhere. We're going to turn the left leg in and the right leg out. Yes, sorry, you have a moment to turn your mat around if you've got the space to turn it around. So, holding the belt like you did before, it doesn't have to be as wide this time, but can be as wide as you want. So stiffer shoulders go wider, and you're going to lift it up. Find a place where you feel that if you had an imaginary wall behind you, everything could touch it. So if your belt is too narrow, you might not be able to get your arms vertical enough. So find a place where you can have the belt taut and your arms taut and your shoulders relaxed. So in triangle, the legs stay straight and you hinge at the hips with a straight spine, and your torso stays square onto the long edge of your mat. We're just going to move a little way down. So take a breath in, and then as you exhale, just ease your spine, hinge your spine just a little way over to the right. And when you get there, reaffirm that feeling of elbows straight, shoulders relaxed, belt tight. Push the left heel down into the floor really firmly and stretch your right hand away from the left foot, like you're elongating that diagonal line. Make it long. And then consider if you're still leaning back against your imaginary wall. Probably the left side will need to, maybe the back of your head. See if you can angle a little bit further. When you've angled a little bit further, re-dig the left heel in, re-stretch the right arm, and then roll back. So find how far over you can angle. If it's difficult on your right knee, do take a little bend of your right knee. That's always a good thing to do. And then we're going to take 3 breaths here. So as you breathe in, press in through your back heel, elongate through your right arm, and as you exhale, roll the left side of your body back. Another breath in to elongate. Exhale to roll the left side back. One more breath in, your longest diagonal line. Exhale. And then take a good bend of your right knee. Relax your arms. And then bring yourself back up. So feet face the front. Right leg in, left leg out. And then lift your arms. So find the tautness of your belt. Feel the imaginary wall behind you. Dig your right heel into the floor. Take a breath in. As you exhale, just a little bit of hinge over to the left. Maybe a bit of bend of your left knee as you go. So as you go on a little way, dig the right heel in, stretch the left hand away from that right heel. And then make sure that the right side isn't rolling away from the wall. Well, it probably is, so roll it back. Then see if you can hinge a little bit further. But every time you hinge, make that lengthening on your diagonal line, back heel to left fist. Then 3 breaths here. So as you breathe in, elongate. As you breathe out, roll the right side back against your wall and the back of your head. Breath in to elongate. Breath out to roll back. One more breath in. One more breath out. And then a deep bend of your left knee. Relax your arms. Bring yourself back up. Oh, that was quite strong. So heel toe your feet to hip distance apart. Put the belt around your neck for a moment so that you can have maybe, if you've got space, check you've got space, but maybe have a rotate of your arms. Strong on the shoulders. And then let it rest. Do anything else you feel you need to do. One more thing with the belt. And it's going to be a forward fold. I'll show you what we're going to do because when you're forward folding you won't see me. So we're going to take the belt behind, holding it in that way. So fists rolling up at the front, and we're going to come into the forward fold. And then when you're in your forward fold, I'm going to ask you to lift your shoulders up away from the floor and take your arms sort of beyond your head as far as they'll stretch. So shoulders will keep wanting to relax down. So we're going to lift the shoulders away from the floor, take the arms overhead, and then we're going to roll up like we normally would. So you can go as wide or as narrow with your hands, but I would say about hip distance is a good measure. If your shoulders are quite loose, then go a little tighter, that's fine. You can slip it wider. It's harder to slip in tighter than it is to slip wider, so be ambitious. So feet hip distance apart, roll your shoulders back, take a lift of your chest, take a breath in, and then as you exhale you start to hinge and you take your arms up behind you as well. Not to your maximum maybe, but just getting that start of a lift. And then a little bend of your knees, let your upper body hang, just like we do in a normal forward fold. Feet firm on the floor, not rolling onto the outside edges or the inside edges. Let your head and neck hang. So stay there. You're going to lift your shoulders up away from the floor and you're going to take your arms beyond your head. So do it with your breath. As you breathe in, just remind your shoulders to lift up. And as you breathe out, take your arms beyond your head. Lovely. One more breath in to lift your shoulders. One more breath out to stretch your arms. And then release the belt. Let your arms relax. Let your arms dangle by your sides. You can put the belt on the floor. We're done with the belt. Take a good deep bend of your knees. Tuck your tailbone under. Tuck your chin in. Roll back up to standing. Step your feet wide apart. Make sure you've got room all around you. We're going to take a little swing. So if you haven't got much room, maybe take your hands on your hips to swing. If you've got more room, you can go a little wilder with your arms. It's quite nice, freeing feeling for your shoulders. And then slow yourself down to a stop. Lie yourself down on your back again. Have a moment to rest. So the belt's done with, you don't need to have that to hand anymore. Lie yourself down. Maybe there's residual sensations in your shoulders. But you're just observing. Not thinking beyond that observation, not thinking where it's come from or how it might play out in the future. Reach your arms beyond your head. Give a good stretch out to the wall beyond. Bring your legs together, push your heels away, toes up towards your face. And then point your toes away. And then let your arms and legs relax. Bend your knees. Bring your knees onto your chest, hands around your knees. A brief rock side to side. And then make your way up to sitting. I'm going to take a twist. You may want to sit on a block. You may want a block for the next posture as well. So if you can, block. If you've got a cushion instead, that's all good. As firm as it can be though. I'm going to sit on the block with legs stretched out in front. So sit well on your block so that you're sat as upright as you can. You're going to take your left leg, cross it over your right. So knee on knee. And you can stay like that for our twist today. If it's comfy for you, you might want to bend your left leg in a bit and rest it like that. So I think some people find that comfy, some people don't. So if you don't find it comfy, stretch your leg out. But knee on knee, wherever you are, kind of knee on knee as much as you can. And then sit tall. So wherever that left leg is, you're going to take your right hand on the left knee and your left hand on the floor behind. Sit yourself tall, as upright with your spine as you can be. Take a breath in, and then as you exhale, you're going to turn to the left. So don't turn your head, just let your head go with your shoulders. But every breath in, lift up tall. Every breath out, turn a little bit more. So the temptation is to turn your head over your left shoulder, and I always give that instruction as well, but I've just felt recently that twisting the head around kind of forces you out of alignment if you're sitting up a little bit. So just bring your head back, maybe to the front, maybe just to the angle that your collarbones are facing, but relax your head and neck. Take another breath in, and this time as you exhale and twist, then turn your head around, just gently. It's more about your shoulders, your ribcage turning than your head. Maybe the back of the left shoulder can move a little bit into the space behind it. That's a better way to twist. So one more breath in, one more breath out. And then just relax as you turn to the front. Extend both legs. And then you're going to cross the right leg over the left. So either legs kind of both straightish, or you can take more of a bend in your right leg. Whatever feels comfier on your hips for sitting tall, that's what we want. Because then the spine is more easily upright, easier to twist. So left hand on your right knee, right hand on the floor behind. Left toes point up to the ceiling. Take a breath in, lift up tall, and exhale, turn to the right. Don't worry about your head and neck. Turn your body, turn your rib cage. So every breath in you lift, every breath out you turn. Maybe you can relax your legs and hips. So keep your shoulders where they are, turn your head to the front. Keep the twist, keep the twist. Feel how you've almost got a bit more leverage. And then another breath in. Exhale, turn your head to look over your right shoulder. 2 more breaths. Final breath in. Final breath out. And then relax as you untwist. Coming back to the centre. Stretch out your legs. Shake if need be, anything that they need, or just let them sit. So you may want to stay on your block, you may want to slide off your block, the choice is yours. We're going to take the feet wide apart, Upavista Konasana. So if you're on a block and the block isn't a magic fix, it's only a slight bit of elevation, so you might want to bend your knees as well. If it's really difficult to sit up tall, anything you can do to bring your spine more upright. So a bit of bend in your knees is fine, a bit of lift on your hips like a cushion or a block underneath you is good. And hands there to give you that bit of lift and to bit of roll forwards, really it is, a bit of roll forwards of your hips, because they would really like to just roll back, I know. So sitting tall. We're going to turn to the right leg. So you can have your hands on the floor if that gives you that ability to sit up straight. If you just want to collapse, if you take your hands off the floor, or if you can sit up straight, you can take your hands onto your right leg. And keeping your spine as upright as you can, slide your hands down towards your right. But it doesn't matter if you don't go any distance, if your hands are just on the floor like this. You're turning your tummy button towards your right thigh, easing yourself down. And then you're going to keep your right hand somewhere near your right leg or on your right leg, depending on which you're doing. You can take your left arm all the way around to the left leg or to the floor, whatever feels comfier. Come forwards and then continue on round to the left leg. So hands on your leg or hands on the floor. Tummy button turning around to your left thigh. And then we're going to go back again. So keep your rib cage forwards. Take the right hand around. Take the left hand around. Bring yourself as close to your leg, like you're bringing your face towards your toes, your tummy button towards your thigh. Going to go back again. So left hand around. Keep forwards as you go around. Right hand around. So we're slowly going to move round a few more times. as we go. Maybe you can come a little bit more forwards each time. Every time you come to one side, it's like you're trying to turn your tummy button towards that thigh. Back around we go to the left. Tummy button towards the left thigh. Round we go to the right. And one more time each way, so over to the left. Back around to the right. And then you're going to walk your hands back up. Take a good bend of your knees. Bring your legs together. Stretch them out, give them a shake. And then lie down on your back once again. So if you have a block to hand, maybe take it behind your head. We're going to do sort of thread the needle hip stretch. So I know for some people it's difficult to, the head starts to feel like it won't reach down to the floor. If you are one of those people, you probably know already, then put a block behind your head. If you don't know what I'm talking about, then you're probably not one of those people, so don't bother. But it does make it all a little bit easier. It doesn't make the stretch any less because the stretch is on the hips, but it relaxes your shoulders, makes it easier. So feet are going to bend, knees are going to bend, and you're going to take your right outside ankle on your left knee. Pull your right toes up towards your right knee and ease your knee away from your face where it would like to pull in towards your face, ease it away. So you can stay here if that's if you're feeling a stretch on your right hip, that's a good thing. So you can stay there if you want to. If it's not much of a stretch for you, then look towards your legs, pick up your left foot, take your hands around the back of the left thigh. So your right hand's going to go through, threading the needle. You're going to interlock your hands behind your left thigh, tuck in your chin, roll your head back down. So that's when you might find you need the block behind you. You want your shoulders to relax as much as possible. Right toes still pull up to your right knee, and you're still stopping your right knee from pulling towards your face. You're easing it away from your face. And you'll get more stretch if you ease the left thigh towards your chest or your left shoulder. Play around with where you move that left thigh. Shoulders are relaxed. And if your tailbone is peeling up off the floor, or your right hip is peeling up off the floor, see if you can roll it back down. Just breathe steadily. Release the back of the left thigh, left foot on the floor. Right foot on the floor. Left outside ankle on your right knee. So left knee moves away from your face. Left toes pull up towards your left knee. And if you want the extra stretch, look up towards your thighs, your legs. Pick up your right foot. Thread your hands around the back of the right thigh, interlock behind, tuck in your chin, roll your head back down to whatever's on the floor, onto the floor. The left knee eases away from your face, right thigh eases in towards your chest, or maybe slightly more in the direction of your right shoulder. Tailbone stretching back down to the floor rather than peeling off. Release the right leg, foot to the floor, left foot to the floor. Maybe a drop of your knees from side to side like we did at the start, but maybe a bit quicker. And then when you're ready, stretch your legs out. Time for Shavasana, relaxation. So take your feet, maybe the width of the mat, or whatever position of your feet and legs suits you. Arms a little way away from your body, palms face up. Maybe a slight rock of your shoulders just so that you can ease your shoulder blades lower down your back, to relax your shoulders, to let them feel heavy down towards the floor rather than pinging up. Close your eyes. Make any more little adjustments that will make you comfortable. And then really feel that position of your body on the floor. And the way that the floor supports your body, so your body doesn't have to do anything. And observe your body being moved by your breath. Body completely relaxed, but being moved by your breath. Your breathing become a little bit stronger, as if as you breathe in, you're breathing in energy to support you for the rest of the day. Gently reach your arms beyond your head, stretch them long, bring your legs together. Push your heels away, pull your toes up towards you, and then point your toes away. And release all that stretching. Bend your knees, bring your feet onto the mat. And then bring your knees onto your chest, a hand on each knee. Guide your knees around in that big circle. Feel the movement in your back as you do that. And then back the other way. Changing it to a rock from side to side. A moment as you rock to notice which side is your best side for rolling onto. And then take that big roll onto your side. And then gently back up to sitting. Namaste. Thank you very much for joining me.